Good morning, everyone. Ron Nicolelli along with Brian Nano. It is Fountain of Youth Day, and what a beautiful morning it is, Brian. Just fantastic. We're here at 10 a.m. Of course, the first race post is 11 a.m. and just 14 fantastic races throughout the afternoon.
On a fantastic day here in Hollandale Beach. The weather is beautiful. It's going to be hot. We love it. There's no chance of rain. There's no wind. There's no nothing but beautiful sunshine and a phenomenal day of racing, of course, culminating in race 14. The Fountain of Youth is essentially an automatic qualifier for the Kentucky Derby. So front and center here at Gulfstream Park.
Yeah, and it's the best of all the races leading up. I mean, it's got the 2-year-old champion Forte in it. And, of course, hey, don't forget about the Rainbow Six that's going to kick off in race number 9 this afternoon. So you got plenty of time to get your tickets together, $1.6 million.
They might bet $1.6 million today. It's going to be a huge pool, not only with the gross jackpot guarantee, but the pool in and of itself and what they will bet into these races today, into that sequence today, that might be $1 million. Of course, we're going to pay it out tomorrow regardless. Huge pool today, so get involved.
Mandatory payout, as Brian mentioned. So let's get right to the action here. We're getting an early pick 5. The first race is going to be 5 furlongs on the turf allowance. Optional claim of 4-year-olds and up. Optional tag is $62,500. Scratch the 9, 14, 15, 16 to 13 is going to get in and run. And the jockey on the number 1 Fire Crow, who I have some interest in, will be Lionel Reyes. So, Brian, let's quickly look at your early pick 5 ticket.
The rubber band is off the bankroll, Rob. Ron, here we go. 4 deep here, 3 deep in race 2. 2 deep, a little more condensed, up to the mark. So good winning his turf debut last time. 4 deep in race number 4. That's a good maiden special weight. Scotland on top for Bill Mott. 3 deep to get out. I like Boppy O today. I thought he ran better than it looked. Sneaky good last time. This is obviously a bigger ticket than I ever give out in this kind of space, Ron, but it's the Fountain of Youth Day. The pool will be ginormous. You're allowed to play a bigger ticket today.
Where'd you get all this money? $144. Jeez. Anything. Okay, I'm sticking with Brian today. First race, I went with the 6 horse, and here's currently up there at 9-2. Very, very, very early in the wagering. Agent Peter Graves is hoping to make amends after coming up a half-length short when finishing 5th behind those Paris next out stakes winners. I just thought it was a good race. Hung a little bit, but I want to show you a stat with Bill Mott. 3rd start after 61 to 180-day layoff sprints on the turf. 4 for 18, 22%. 50% in the money, 129 is the return investment. You don't think of Bill Mott with sprints.
No, not at all. We're going to run 14 races today, but the best one, or one of the best gambling betting races, is going to kick off in 59 minutes. This is as good as it gets. As Ronnie said, it's early in the betting. I take a quick look at the screen here. We've got about 8 horses between 4-1 and 9-2. It's that kind of race.
You like the 12 and second Mamba on through, breaks from the outside after get beat ahead by that next out grade 3 step. One of those horses, Yes I Am Free, that I was talking about with Agent Peter Graves.
Yeah, he came back to win the stakes. And listen, the Mamba on 3 ran good. I kind of thought he had to win with the way the flow of the race played out. He's outside now, but he's in here to run well.
I just wanted to talk a little bit about number 1 Fire Crow, who's now in the Saffie Joseph Jr. Bond. This gelding makes his first start. Since facing the 2021 Breeders' Cup Turf Sprint winner Golden Pal, that was in the Grade 2 Woodford at Keenan, 7-year-old. Boy, he's working like a winner. I think this horse is just so intriguing. I remember from up at the Preakness time. I think this horse can run well.
Yeah, if he wants to throw down his best race, he's got every right to be there. Probably win today. The rail, the layoff, those are problems. The good thing, if you're a fan, he's not in for a tag. I like that. You know, he's an older horse. He's a gelding. No, they don't want to risk him for a tag today.
Second race is a 7-furlong sprint, maiden special weight filly 3-year-olds, and we have some beautiful maiden races today. Scratch the number 2 horse in here, Laban. And Brian, I went with the number 7 horse in here. Image of Love is a daughter of intermission. Debuting for Todd Pletcher with Lasix and Red Hot Jock Irad Ortiz in the irons. I just think he's a major player in here. I know you had some interest in a horse you wanted to show a video of.
Yeah, the Inch of Mischief certainly are runners, and Image of Love will be one of them. But let's take a look at Millennium Park and Just Catherine here on January 15th. Here's Just Catherine tripping out. She's the 8. Here's Millennium Park going to come into your picture down towards the inside. She's the 1 horse in this day. And here she is. Good work, Bob. Thank you. Behind traffic. You're going to watch her check. You're going to watch her steady. She's going to try to come through on the inside. As a first-time starter for Tom Proctor, who's not a guy that's going to crank them up, that was a lot to ask. Now we're going to sift through again. You're going to see her come and run on late, Ron. She's back inside again. I understand that. Jose Ortiz sticks around. I think she's going to move forward in a big, big way today. And Tom's a guy that's much, much tighter second out. Here she is there. To see her be fourth, I like her in this spot today, Ron. You might get a little sneak of a price, too.
Yeah, you have her on top. That's good. So I want to show you a stat that I was going to tell you about, Image of Love, with the Todd Pletcher, with his 3-year-old filly. These are the fillies, first-time starters on the dirt right here at Gulfstream. He's 6 for 34, 18%, 20% is the in the money percentage. So not a big money percentage. He either wins or that's it.
Yeah, and that's noteworthy, though, because you just saw my pick 5, and this pool's going to be huge. Well, you don't really have to worry about if he's third in the race. If you're going to win, he's going to win. You better use her on her ticket.
Right. The third race today, mile into 16th on the turf allowance, optional claim of 4-year-olds at optional tag, $62,500. Let's backtrack a little bit and show Samantha's early pick 4 ticket, which I cruised over.
Yeah, and we got a lot of them today. She's got a middle pick 4 ticket as well, that ever popular one. $16 for her. Her single is in race number 4, and that is the 7. Let It Ride. That's a bold one because you're going to get some value there on a George Weaver firster, Tyler aboard. $16 on that early. Don't forget, early pick 5. We got pick 4. We've got 3 of them today.
Yeah, this is early pick 4, starts in race number 2. I skipped over, excuse me for that. Now getting back to this third race, and this one, you mentioned up to the mark, stepping up and stretching out.
Well, take a look at it. This is an absolute tour de force here. This is the turf debut. This is Todd Pletcher. Irad Ortiz, he's okay, that guy. Hey, you got $25 on this horse, Ron. That's impossible. I know this horse was flattered by the flow of this race. This is an absolute demolition loop job here on a horse that just runs off through the stretch like he's been waiting for turf all along.
Yeah, this was a great, I agree with you 100%. Put him right on top of my ticket, too.
And he's drawn perfectly inside. He meets better today. There's a couple that are eligible to improve. He's geared down under the wire there.
The number 11 horse in here, boys, the Irish bred, is making his North American debut after rallying to finish second. No, he's making his first start since he finished second in his North American grass debut. Right here for Chad Brown. Joel Rosario rides as Irad sticks with the top choice.
You know, Chad Brown has spotted some horses at the championship meet, and he's won some races. He had a lot of horses run well without winning. He is loaded for bear today to win multiple races. Take note of it. This horse, I'm okay fading a little bit. I was not impressed with the U.S. debut. With that being said, he's eligible to move forward in a big way.
And eyes on the target. The 9 is a 2-time winner at the distance. Stretches out. He rallied to finish 4th, going a mile up back on New Year's Day. Mike Maker, MC El Jaramillo.
Very, very logical, especially if you're playing the horizontals. You got to use them.
Yeah, I don't remember the exact number. I think Chad has 15 horses in, and Todd has 12. Yeah, something like that. Yep. Amazing amount of horses in today for both those guys. And, of course, I think Sappy has 11 or 12, too. So race number 4, it's 7 furlongs, maiden special weight, 3-year-olds. This is a pretty good race in here. Interesting. Brian, you went with the number 5. Oh, Scotland with Bill Mott.
I took a shot here. It's a race I spread in my early pick 5. You know, a firster for Bill Mott, a homebred for LNJ Foxwoods, by Good Magic, out of a Spitestown mare. This horse is going to run as a gelding. He's already been gelded. The Good Magics have been pretty precocious as a young sire. The works here are solid, if unspectacular. But, you know, I always think, Ron, horses that are entered to debut or return on a day like this, maybe they can run a little bit. There's some significance that they're here today.
Well, the number 3, Ohana Honor, is turning back to 7 furlongs. First start, chased the pace, and finished 4th behind. Hey, an impressive next out win at Tapper Trice that everybody seems to think is going to be part of the Kentucky Derby situation. Yeah. That was going a mile at Aqueduct Shug McGay. So I found a stat on Ohana Honor, who is a $430,000 son of Honor Code. Route to sprint on the dirt. He's 10 for 54, 19%. 50% in the money, so good percentages, and just keying off that race. If he's that good, I think this horse has a chance to run well in here.
I was going to add Lasix, too, and I think that's significant. You got the Hall of Famer Javier Castellano, the George Wolf winner. Congrats, Javi, and he's ridden this horse every time, too. If the firsters aren't ready, and we should have mentioned this in race 2, these are tab the tote board races. Yeah. If you're playing this early pick 5, check out the double will pays. If you're playing the early pick 4, check out the board. You want to see your first-time starters live and taking money in these these kind of spots.
How about Illustrated, a $1.1 million son of Justify and a half brother to the Belmont winner, Taprit?
Yeah, so you wonder just maybe he wants a little more ground, certainly maybe an extra turn, but he did well to draw outside everyone. It's Todd Pletcher, it's Luis Saez, it's Coolmore. There's a lot to like with Illustrated.
You know, you got to look at the one here. You know, we got all these heavy heads we're talking about. Not that Jose D'Angelo doesn't do a great job, but the one Armstrong stretches out. This ran very well to its sixth furlong debut. He rallied 5 wide in that race. He finished third. Jose Ortiz returning on the son of Taprit. I just think this horse it's got to be somewhere in the mix.
Ronnie and I have been talking about this since the 2-year-olds of last year. Experience in these races is never a bad thing. Armstrong's got it. Quick shout to the 7, Let It Ride. I know Angela, who'll be with here in a little bit, likes this horse. Samantha's single in the early pick 4. Check this horse out. Let It Ride might be a runner.
Good movie, too. Fun movie.
Oh, yeah. There you go.
That was one back at Hialeah in the day. So, 5th race this afternoon is going to be 1 mile on the turf. It's 3-year-olds. It's the $200,000. It is now called the Colonel Liam.
Yeah, and that's pretty cool. The 2-time Pegasus World Cup turf winner for Todd Pletcher. We're going to air a video a little bit later of Todd talking about that and what it means to him to have a name race after a horse that was so prolific here at Gulfstream Park.
Yeah, it scratched the 8 Walaka, and this, I think, was the Palm Beach previously.
Yes.
The Palm Beach, so $200,000. I like the performance of dude in Colorado last time. That British bred is turning back to a mile. Sharp local turf outing in which he set the pace. He finished third. It's Todd Pletcher, Arad atop this son of Uncle Mo. You would like to see Todd win this race, the Colonel Liam.
It would be cool, and I'm with the Kitten's Joy horses. I've got Bapio, but to speak of dude in Colorado, I thought ran very, very well. Bapio dogged him on the lead the entire way. Dude in Colorado kind of shook him a little bit off the far turn, dug in, and didn't want to get run down by Major Dude. He relented very, very late. He might be loose and controlling today.
The number 3 horse in here, and I asked somebody in the office how to say it, and we think it's Berlin, the French bred. Pete will certainly help us out with that because it's making his North American debut for Chad Brown after a consistent 4-race campaign in France. But look, albeit both those wins came on soft going at Vichy. So, you know, what are you going to get today? But it's Chad Brown, it's Tyler Gaffleone, it's a son of Fast Company.
All 4 races on soft to heavy ground over in France. That is nothing like we're going to get out there to my right today. But Chad is potent with these kind of horses. He's got a few of them today, starting their careers for him off European form. The pink and yellow of Mike Dubb go on. They tend to be runners. I would not want to spread too deep and not have this horse on a ticket.
Okay, Boomer. I mean, the number 2, Okay, Boomer, is another from Todd Pletcher.
The Oklahoma fan in me had nothing to do with Okay, Boomer last time, so I don't know where that. The question is, where did that race came from? And maybe the answer is Lasix went on that day. Lasix is coming off today. Can he get back to it? The debut win was fine. Don't get me wrong. The debut win is not going to scare anyone in this race, though.
Luis Saez is going for another win on that horse. A hat trick, I believe, this afternoon. A race number 6, the grade 3, the very one of the staples here at Gulfstream Park. It's the 35th running, 1 mile and 3/8. It's on the turf, of course, for fillies and mares, 4-year-olds and up at $150,000. Not a lot of scratches in the meat of this card today, all the graded stakes races. And, you know, I went with the 10, and I'll start it here with Virginia Joy, the German-bred defending champ in the very one, stretches out to her best distance. She's had 5 races at this distance with 4 wins. Failed to fire in the Grade 1 Breeders' Cup filly and mare turf. I found a stat on Chad Brown. Layoff of 61 to 180 days in graded stakes on the turf. He's 36 for 144, 25%. 57% in the money. 223 is the return of investment.
Well, this goes back to what I said a little earlier. Loaded for bear, Chad Brown today. Now, this is a stepping stone for Virginia Joy. She won this race last year, as Ronnie said, and she looked darn good doing it. Look at your racing form, and look how bad this post position, though, is. She's going to essentially start right on the turn. She has not been out since the Breeders' Cup. That's a long kind of used handicapping angle. Maybe fade horses off Breeders' Cup returns. The post today, the underlaid short price. Is she the most likely winner? Absolutely. But she's going to be a very, very short number on the tote board. I put her in second, Ron, and I'm just throwing something really at the wall and seeing if it sticks with Broadway Boogie.
Yeah, Jimmy Toner, boy, how good is he doing? You got a big chance because if I didn't pick him, he wins. And when I pick him, he finishes second.
This is true. He's kind of snake bit you a little bit.
Yeah.
Broadway Boogie is stepping way up. I mean, way up. But you go back and watch her win last time at 1.5 miles. It was domination, and she absolutely ran off in the stretch. She's bred to be a good horse, a Joe Allen homebred. Jimmy, as Ron said, has done nothing but send out live horses. If Virginia Joy is just a tad short today, if the post position is problematic for her, if Broadway Boogie is just on the improve, these are the spots you're allowed to take 12, 15 to 1 in.
You know, the number 6 Transient, the British bred, is really interesting because it's going to turn back to 11 furlongs today after debuting locally for Safi and finishing a well-meant second. That was in the 12 furlong Grade 3 La Praviante. And Tyler Gaffney on rides. This horse is actually turning back to 11 furlongs today.
It was a big effort. Don't get me wrong. Now, the winner that day, personal best, was basically running backwards. That's how good she was. So she was the neck is not indicative of how second best she was, but that was a solid effort, and she's another horse. If Virginia Joy stumbles just a little bit, Transient's right there.
Another from Chad Brown is the number 7 High Truth, the Irish bred, and this one's Grade 1 Stakes Place daughter of Galileo.
Scary returnee. You watch the Belmont race. Now, she hasn't been seen since that race in July. That was eye-opening, visually impressive, very dangerous today.
And Chad, 33% with this type of layoff, so lots of good numbers there. Race number 7 today is 7 furlongs allowance optional claimer. 4-year-olds end up with the optional claiming price is $62,500. No scratches in this race. And the most interesting race, I think, is because of the turnback of the number 2, White Barrio, who hasn't sprinted since he broke his maiden here in 2021.
Confidence builder, I guess. He's not supposed to be in here. He didn't run well in the Pegasus. Don't forget now, he entered the Pegasus 4 for 4 on the Gulfstream main track. Maybe the cutback is trying to get him to be a one-turn Met Mile, Grade 1 kind of one-turn horse. He's got a lot of talent and ability. He's inside. He's a short price. It's a tricky distance as well. I'm just going to try to beat him, but he's a good horse. There's no doubt about it.
I got to show you a stat on Safi Joseph Jr. Horses going from route to sprint on the dirt right here at Gulfstream. He's 32 for 112, 29%, 54% in the money. 2-1-1 is the return of investment. And what we got here?
You got a middle pick 4 here.
It's
ever popular.
Middle pick 4, and it's race number 7. So let's show Samantha made a ticket up.
It's ever popular, Ron. We're going to go 4 deep. I like what she's doing here. I'm okay trying to beat White Barrio in this spot. 3 deep, 4 deep, and then in race number 10, Samantha's going to try to get out of this sequence. She's going to use a couple of them. Look at that. I'm not saying she's trying to beat Charge It, but she's going to use Endorsed as well on a $48 ticket.
$48 ticket. So the middle pick 4 starts in race number 7. We don't usually have 14 races except on Florida Derby Day and, of course, on Fountain of Youth Day. So it is going to start race number 7. So as Brian marked my program back, you mark your program down. White Barrier, you single him here, you go different ways. What about, let's go with your horse, the one High Oak.
You remember him?
Yep.
It was a year ago today. This didn't go well in the Fountain of Youth, and we haven't seen him since a year ago. I'll argue with anyone he's as good as any horse in here, okay? Does he need the race? It's possible. He's inside, not ideal. But High Oak on his day can run with anybody in this field. Maybe he's just cranked to get going. Lee Einseidler, deserves a little luck. Casa Creek got nipped again over there in the Middle East, and High Oak can run. It's just a matter of if we see it today. I'm trying to get a little clever in here.
The number 6, Wyburn, is now in the Jimmy Jerkins barn. This 5-year-old returns to the main track, failed to get on track. That was in the Grade 2 King Edward, going a mile on the Woodbine turf. Just Junior Alvarez, the son of Pioneer and Nile. So you go, yeah, he was on the turf. But then you look at his record at 7/8 of a mile. 3 starts, 2 wins in a second.
This is a Grade 3 stakes race. I know it doesn't say that in your program. This is a Grade 3 stakes race. Weyburn is a graded stakes horse. He's a winner here. He's a stakes winner at Gulfstream Park. And the scary thing about Weyburn is I know it was for a different trainer. It was for Brendan Walsh. The layoff to win at Gulfstream Park, if you look at your program, September to April. Well, this one is August to March. He ran off the screen in the Sir Shackleton last year off a similar kind of layoff. Jimmy Jerkins is as good a horseman as it's going to be on the backstretch.
A horse that you've mentioned a lot of times, Collaborate. And this thing is, moves to the Jose D'Angelo. He jumps in, grabbed this guy for 30. His figures put him in a hunt with this, but you got to get a price on this horse.
Yeah, I was admittedly dead set against him last time. I played the runner-up, and I played him strongly. The runner-up did come back and win. If Jose can get Collaborate back to his best, he's a player in here. I still don't know if he's at that level, though.
Yeah, I mean, I think underneath is where you might have that horse in here. Race number 8 this afternoon, 1 mile and 1/16th on the turf, 4-year-olds and up. It is the $150,000. It's the Canadian Turf Grade 3. I know there's no ticket in this one because the Rainbow Six will be next. I went with the one horse, and so did you. English Bee stretching out to the mile and the 16th. He returned from the layoff, and he was pretty good.
He was. This is my long shot play today, and he was good, and he was game. And the other thing I like, too, and we're going to segue to Emmanuel in a second, English Bee has run well without Lasix. Emmanuel blew way up at Tampa Bay Downs last time. Lasix was on. It's off today. English Bee, I know he ran hard last time, Ron, but he gutted it out. To me, he's moving forward. He was third in this race last year. Don't overlook that.
And number 3, Emmanuel, as you mentioned, debuting locally after coming off the bench at Tampa to win the Grade 3 Tampa Bay at the distance for Todd. Javier Castellano was up there that day, and he's returning on the son of More Than Ready.
Yeah, I mean, if he throws that race down again, he's going to win. No one's going to fight you on that. The question is, can he do it off Lasix? Can he double up on it? It could be a bounce scenario here. He hadn't been out since August of last year, and he comes back and runs freakishly fast, his lifetime best. He's got to do it again today against a tougher group.
The number 10, Steady On, a 2-time winner on the turf, returns to the grass today. Now, he highlighted his versatility for me when he won the $100,000 overnight handicap on the Torpedo for Todd. He's got Irad doling out the cold speed from that outside post position. So maybe this horse can be somewhere on the ticket, too.
Yeah, and they're going to bet this horse hard today.
Yeah.
It wouldn't shock me to see him up there at 5-2, 3-1, because you got to sift a little bit and dig. Yeah, okay, he ran okay on the Torpedo. That's fine. The turf races that he's got as a younger horse, now he's more mature as a 4-year-old for, ace connections. He's scary here today.
Well, we are going to take a short break. Yes. And we're going to come back with my Rainbow Six ticket in race number 9. Whew.
This is a championship meet.
Yeah.
All the best jockeys in the world are here, and I'm excited to ride against them.
We back.
And you get to watch some really incredible, talented athletes out there.
Yeah.
To us, it's a place to be in the winter.
I love Gulfstream Park because of the racing.
The palm trees, the beach is right here. The horse racing is some of the best in the country.
A lot of good horses come out of here. And if you want to go to the next level, Gulfstream Park was the place to come.
I remember the first time I came to Gulfstream, it was like this big fairy tale place. All the history.
Shoemaker sitting perfectly still. He hasn't touched this magnificent colt, and here comes the finish.
And all these great horses, trainers, jockeys. It was everything that I ever dreamed of.
Welcome back to Gulfstream today, Ron and Brian. I hope you're enjoying your coffee out there and your bagels or whatever you eat. Now, big giant donuts like
Giant donuts.
The giant donuts that we had in our office, or whatever it is.
Bigger than your hands.
Yeah, no, I'm hiding my hands, so inside joke, folks. They pick on me all the time, but. Yeah, just a great morning here at Gulfstream Park, a little after at like 10:21 in the morning. So the Rainbow Six is going to start. It's going to be in race 9, a mile on the turf. Phillies 3-year-olds. It's the $200,000 Grade 3. Here comes the bride. So let's quickly look at my ticket right now. And you're going to see it's $38.40. I love Cairo Consort today. That's my best bet of the afternoon. We'll talk about that race in a moment. My long shot comes right in race number 10. Steel Sunshine, 20-1. You hope he can reel in the speed. This horse was really good against Florida Reds in the summer. Or race number 11, I'm going deep with my top pick in the Honey Fox is White Frost. I use Speak of the Devil and Faith in Humanity. Race number 12, I think Red Carpet Ready will be ready, but I threw in Undervalued Asset. And then in race number 13, I got some coverage in the McDermott. I got Astronaut highest on as value engineer. I think that's a wide open race. Hey, it's either going to be Forte or Mage as far as I'm concerned. I was going to single Forte, but that's the horse I like. But I wanted coverage with this horse because he's unknown. 38.40 for me.
He might also be loose.
Yes.
And it's a short finish line, and he might also get brave. I'm with you, my friend.
So getting back to race number 9, as I mentioned, Cairo Consort is cutting back to a mile again. She had a victory at the distance in the Ginger Brew. She comes back, she scores in the Swedish Chant. What else does she have to do? She
scores? Let's show the replay here. She did a lot more than that. I got to be honest with you. I was dead set against her. She ran the race of the year. This is a freakish performance. Here's a start. She just literally walks out of the starting gate. So you're thinking, they're off, you lose. Right. And now, where is she? She's not even in the picture here, just drifting up now. And watch this horse level off in mid-stretch and just blow the doors off this field in Ron, an effort that was, you just can't talk how good it was for what happened at the start. And now she's going to tip out and sift through here. And in mid-stretch, watch her level off. She essentially wins in a canter.
Yeah. Unbelievable performance. Yes, she just comes riding by, of course. And Todd Pletcher's Irad, he's just riding in such great form. It doesn't matter if he breaks last or he starts the race before. He still looks like he can win the next race.
Yeah, the only question is, does it take a little out of her? I know she did it so easily. It was a very taxing effort, though. So we'll see what we get today, and she probably has to run a little better.
With all you said, with that, you went with Shadow Sphinx.
I took a shot with Revelita. I took a shot with Revelita. She's an unknown, an admitted unknown. But again, it's Chad Brown with a first-time starter here in the United States, off a layoff. Jose Ortiz is here. I'm playing this race as maybe Cairo Consort comes back a little bit off what you just saw. Chad's also got the one down inside, too. I'm taking a shot, admittedly.
I'm taking a shot behind Cairo Consort, as mentioned, with the number 3, Mally Moo, who's cutting back after disputing the pace and yielding to finish 6th behind the top choice in the Swedish Chance. I think she's a speed play. She's interesting to me for Jack Sisterton and Joel Rosario. I mean, she's 15-1 on the morning line.
Sure.
So I think that maybe she can hang around for a piece.
The question is, what does Moon Daydream do way to the outside? Because she's got a ton of sprint speed. And then what does that do to your horse? But I agree. Mally Moo seems to be on the improve. And don't forget now, she's still kind of getting acclimated to American racing.
Let's go to race number 10 this afternoon. And this one is the Gulfstream Park Mile, Grade 2, 1 mile, 4-year-olds and up. It is $200,000, no scratches in the race. And this is where Samantha put her late pick 5 ticket together. We'll quickly go through this ticket. $75.
So she's going to split this race. She's going to use endorse. Her spreads are in race 11 and 13. Her single is in, so she's on Forte. It's tough to blame her there. Forte looks at probably about 3 to 5 in the Fountain of Youth. It's exciting to see him come back, the 2-year-old champion. That's a $75 ticket. Like my early pick 5, fire in these sequences. This could be a $2 million pool.
Yeah, it could be a $2 million pool. You're absolutely right. And, you know, Forte is the one to beat. And what I'm trying to say about that, we watched this horse all week here. Yeah. He looks fantastic, if that means anything. I got my long shot in here, and it's the 2 Steel Sunshine, who's 20-1 on the line. He does his best running in the latter stages of the race. I see so much speed in here with Charge It and other horses in the field. I'm just hoping he can close for Bobby DeBona. Lionel Reyes, we mentioned, has been riding long shots the whole week. His average payout is like $25. So I'm figuring if I can get a trip and, you know, this horse, maybe I can get lucky in here. Would I not use Charge It? Of course I'm going to use Charge It, but taking a little bit of a shot.
Steel Sunshine can run. There's no doubt about it. And as my partner always says, okay, if you don't want to play him on top, Charge It's 2 to 5 in this race. We've got exactas. We've got trifectas. We've got superfectas. He's the type of horse that might blow it up underneath for you.
Yeah, so, and then, of course, Charge It, you know, is coming back to the mile today. Monster victory in the Dwyer.
the Dwyer, and then you saw him here the other week. We saw him schooling in the paddock. He's like a horse of the year candidate for me, and this is onward and upward. I'm excited just to see him in here today.
You know, underneath, you know, besides Charger, I really had a tough go of it, you know, with my long shot in the race. I thought Simplification is a candidate for a rebound performance. You know, he was third in the Harlan's Holiday, clunker in the Grade 1 Pegasus World Cup, Antonio Sano, Jose Ortiz. I think he's better than that last race.
Yeah, now he might also be better at one turn. I know he won the Fountain of Youth and all that.
Yeah.
I think he could turn into a very useful one-turn horse. I'm going to put O'Captain underneath a huge favorite in charge. He's got talent for Gustavo Delgado. He can run a little bit. Maybe he picks up the Steel Sunshine kind of scraps that you're talking about.
Yeah, you know, it just looks like Charger the one to beat now. You can go a couple of different ways. You know, I'm thinking I'll even get more than 21 on that horse in that race, just because of Charger going to, as you always say, bottom out the race. The race 11 is 1 mile on the turf, fillies and mares, 4-year-olds and up. It is the $150,000, the Grade 3 Honey Fox. No scratches in this race, and Brian has his late pick 4 ticket going here.
Yeah, and this will be $1 million pool. There's no doubt about it. $22.50 for me. The single is in race 12. Undervalued Asset is my best bet of the day. $22.50, Ron.
$22.50, very affordable. Getting back to this race, 4 White Frost, who was impressive winning the Grade 3 Swedish Chant during 2021, is back against Graded Stakes Company today after returning from a 14-month layoff. And he won. He defeated those optional claimers going a mile here on the turf. Bill Mott, go-to jock Junior Alvarado, trying to keep this lightly raced daughter of Candy Ride undefeated. Never been beaten on the Gulfstream Park turf.
Yeah, she was good. She was good. She was mature. She was bigger and stronger. And the other win that my partner alluded to, that's a Grade 3 in the Swedish Chant here at Gulfstream. Speak of the Devil is the best horse in the race. She's going to have to run to beat White Frost today.
Yeah, speak of the Devil, the French bred. Then you got Faith in Humanity making her first start. She defeated a pair of next out winners in the 1 mile Grade 3 Pebbles. It was September. Once again, Chad Brown, Joel Rosario topped this daughter of Lope de Vega.
Chad is set up today, and Speak of the Devil is an exciting horse. She's a Grade 1 kind of horse. The layoff, the no-show last time, White Frost today with a recency edge.
We're going to race number 12 right now. 1 mile fillies, 3-year-olds. It is the $200,000. The Devona Dale scratched the number 1 atomically that came in a little later than the other scratches in there. I was good to see him run. I didn't have on top of my ticket. Your best bet is the number 5 Undervalued Asset.
Yeah, let's take a look at the replay, guys, because this is Red Carpet Ready beating Undervalued Asset last time. But don't forget now, Undervalued Asset, 1 race. Red Carpet Ready, already a stakes winner. And watch what happens off the far turn here. Undervalued Asset's going to get to her. Now, to her credit, Red Carpet Ready's going to swat her. There's no doubt about it, okay? She was better on this day. But Undervalued Asset said to her here on the far turn, I'm coming, and you better be ready for me. And I'm not ready for you yet, but I'll get there. And now today, Ron, we get an extra furlong. And Undervalued Assets got that race under her belt now, and she put a scare in Red Carpet Ready. And again, to her credit, she swatted her pretty easily today. Undervalued Asset, we're outside again today. That's an advantageous post. We get a mile today, and we've got a lot more experience today, too. My best bet of the day.
Yeah, Red Carpet Ready has never been beaten, so we'll see how that plays. But it'll be a good matchup between these two once again. Behind them, I put the 10, and so did Brian. Leave no trace. Turning back to the mile first start since finishing a press-to-pace second behind Wonder Wheel in the Grade 1 Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies. Phil Serpy, Tyler Gaffalione top. This is a special filly. This is a good horse.
This is a special race. The Fountain of Youth, don't get me wrong, is great. This is a lot of people are looking forward to this because these are serious 3-year-old fillies. It's essentially a qualifier for the Kentucky Oaks. Phil Serpy's going to bring a Grade 1 winner here that was second in the Breeders' Cup, and she can run. And she was looking good out there earlier schooling, too.
She was, and they're thinking, I just think she's a really nice filly in there. Race number 13, of course, 1 mile and 3 hits in the turf for 4-year-olds and up. $200,000 is the McDarmina. Scratch the 11 of Bond. Please note the number 13, Marwad, is going to get in and run this afternoon. So that's another 12-horse field here. Brian, you went with the 1 highest honor, Chad Brown.
Yeah, and the scratch of a Bond is the biggest scratch of the day. It might be the biggest scratch in the country. It is just huge because your top pick now should be controlling where I thought highest honors now would be able to work out a trip off of Astronaut and the speed of a Bond. The same scenario might play out that it happened in the Red Smith last time where Astronaut got loose and he just never stopped. And there's a legitimate chance it happens again now.
Yeah, perfect 2 for 2. And Tom Albatrotti, certainly rooting for him. One of the
Good to see
nicest
Tom
guys. Louis Saez, high as honor for all the reasons you mentioned, Brian. And what do you do with the 10 value engineer? He's turning back to the mile and 3/8. Got caught late when finishing second. That was in that grade 3, 12 furlong McKnight. The gelding was 1. The rained out mile and 5/8 H. Allen Jerkins on the Torpedo. I think this horse has never been better.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. And he ran well last time behind Red Knight. I kind of feel even on his best day, he's just a cut below. And now the race, the flow of the race completely shifts over to Astronaut, if it didn't already. And that puts a horse like Highest Honors in a little tricky spot, as well as Value Engineering.
The big one, race 14, 1 mile and 1/16, first finish line. 3-year-olds, it is the $400,000 grade 2 Fountain of Youth. And have a scratch in here of General Jim and a jockey change on the 10. Louis Saez, Pete's going to be up momentarily to give you all the changes you need. And Brian, I understand what you're saying with the number 7 horse.
Yeah, Mage, okay. Dynamo on debut. Didn't get bet on debut, 11-1. Don't forget, we're talking the first finish line, the shorter stretch run today. That plays into a horse like Mage's running style. I expect them to be loose. Legacy Isles, the other speed horse, blinkers off. It just didn't look like he wanted 2 turns. I wonder, Ron, if they ride him a little more patiently to try to get him to go the extra distance. Mage is on a send mission. We've seen horses like Promises Fulfilled win this race, the short stretch finish line. Listen, Forte's the best horse in the race. I'm not arguing anything about that. If you're going to try to beat him, it's today.
The number 4, Forte, is just looks spectacular, both working and schooling. Makes his first start. He ended his Eclipse Award-winning season with a victory in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile, where everybody knows, Son of Violence. Perfect 2 for 2 at the distance. Has Irad in the saddle again. And he sold me. We're just watching him over there. I had the pleasure to watch him behind us a couple of times. You know, everybody'd say, which one is Forte? And it'd be all these beautiful horses, and you go right there because he looked that much better than everybody else.
Yeah, and everybody else was Charge It, by the way. And Cairo Consort, too. Those are the 3 schooling.
Not putting them down now.
No. He looked like a machine out there. The other thing that Ron said, 2 for 2 at the distance. The other thing is 2 for 2 at short stretch finish line races at Keeneland. He's the horse to beat today, but let's be honest, this is not the end-all be-all for Forte. We've got the Florida Derby followed by, they hope, the Kentucky Derby. How tight is he today? We don't know. Again, I'm trying to be clever. If you're going to beat him, it's today, because they might never see him again if he wins today.
Yeah, but you got to get your points today. You got to start getting some points to get into the Triple Crown. What about Rocket Can? I kept going back. Rocket Can proved his record at the mile in the 16th to 2 wins out of 3 starts for Billy Mott. I think you got a video.
Well, take a look at it, because this is the house horse. He wins the Holy Bull last time, and here's Shadow Dragon, his stablemate for Bill Mott. He runs 1-2. Who's better than Bill, right? And who's having a better championship meet than Bill? And this was a solid effort. And Rocket Can got no help. He was wide every step of the way, extremely wide into the first turn. He runs that risk again today from this wide outside draw. Little help with the 1 scratch. He can draw over a little bit. This was a good win. I don't want to knock it, but I think everybody, and probably Bill Mott included, he's got to run better today to make a dent against a group like this.
Yeah, he does. But, it's just, you said it right there, who's having a better meet than Bill Mott? He runs 1-2. Would he win? If he wouldn't shock me. He's going up. The barn is just going great gun. So that's how we see the 14 race card. But we got a quick lightning round we want to get through, and then we're going to turn it over to Pete Aiello. So we've been mentioning this all week, and I hope you know we got a mandatory payout in the Rainbow Six tomorrow.
That's tomorrow, and it's got to get there first. But I'm going to tell you what, if we get there, $10 million is in play, Ron. Yeah. This is going to be huge. We're already guaranteeing 1-6 today. They're going to bet with both hands on. They might bet $1 million into the sequence today. That card tomorrow, the depth in that Rainbow Six is headache worthy. It is a heck of a sequence they put together.
If you want to get some money to play that, maybe you play Santa Anita's mandatory payout today. They got one up there at a sister track. So there you go. They're estimated $3 million.
And that's their big cap day, the San Felipe, the Grade 1 Kilroe Mile. I think that card wraps up about 8:31. So we're going to keep you from 11 a.m. all the way to close to 9 p.m. at our sister track out there.
You know, we got the coast to coast today. Our pick 5 between Santa Anita and Gulfstream. We got one. I want to show you Sundays. I'm going to start it off at race 3 at Santa Anita. Well, we're going to see what it is. That's the Santa Anita has one today. I mean, we have one today and we have one tomorrow.
Yeah, all stakes today as well. And, you can check me out on Twitter, Jeremy Plonka, Jeff Siegel, who's out there in California. We filled a little preview. These are tough sequences today. All stakes today. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Best bet?
Best bet. We just saw it. Undervalued asset in the Devona Dale. What a renewal.
My best bet is pop up right now is Cairo Consort. Easy for me to say. Your long shot?
English B. You've got him too, but is not your long shot?
No, he's not my long shot. No, my long shot is the Big Bomber today, the number 2 horse.
Oh,
Steel Sunshine, 20-1 on the board. And you know what else there is today? Beat the Expert, and I am up. And what a day to beat the Expert. If you can get more winners than me, and you've been doing it pretty good all meet, you got a chance to win one of those cool polo shirts. If you look at the sleeve, it says Beat the Expert. You can come off and show up. Come around here and show off.
He'll give you that one literally right off his back.
Yeah. I just wanted to give a little congratulations to Brittany Russell, who was the 2022 Maryland Trainer of the Year. Boy, she's doing fantastic.
She does such good work up there in the Mid-Atlantic, and she's kind of ventured out a little bit across the Northeast and here in Florida even for that matter, and had some luck. It's a very, very sharp outfit. Congratulations.
Well, you can tell how excited we are just jumping out of our seats here, wait for the day to start. But you can't start until you get all the scratches and changes from the one and only Pete Aiello. We'll be back here for race number 1. And don't forget, we'll be joined by Samantha, Angela, Claudia, all day long. So good luck.
Introducing the first racing tool from Pegasus to Preakness. Iconic venues. World-class racing. Millions at stake. New champions will be crowned. Only at First.